Hello and welcome to this episode of FASD What's the Crack with me, Scott, and with my special co-host. Special co-host. Oh dear.
Special.
You are special. And who are you?
Fabulous. I'm Maggie May and I'm fabulously special.
Yeah. So Maggie, what's the crack?
What is the crack? Well, it was FASD Day. So that was major crack happening. I'm still recovering. I'm still recovering, and not for the reasons people might think, from commenting and posting and sharing and attending webinars on FASD. Because this year, boy, did the FASD community go all out globally.
I totally agree with you on that, and I was expecting to do a couple of posts on Saturday, but actually I just had to, like you, stay on. To the point on Sunday, I had a social media hangover, not a hangover from anything else, just from social media, because it was just such, like you say, globally, we all went all out this year. It's almost like just something's clicked this year. And regardless of whether organizations did any prep or it was just kaboom kind of day on Saturday. And maybe because it was on a Saturday as well. I don't know.
I think it might have been. Because I think there was a lot more in-person events across the globe.
True, yeah.
And I think it was a bit more easier to be organizing meetups. And, there's an amazing scheme run for FASD, which is people meet up, wear red shoes, and they do a 5-kilometer walk, run, skip, jump, cycle. And it's just to raise awareness of FASD. So that I was seeing so many posts on different groups of maybe 5 people to 20 people, and it was just people who have FASD, parent FASD, or social workers who work with people, just all meeting up, and their common goal is just to walk and talk about FASD. And it's second year, I think, going, and from being one person doing it, all of a sudden there's countries doing it, and there's people doing almost marathons of it, and it was just amazing to see, and I saw a lot more engagement with it, and I think it probably was because it was on the weekend.
Yeah, I would say so as well. I didn't see anything about exercise because I have fitness and exercise blocked words on my things. Yeah, I know, because I don't want to see people doing things like that. But well done if they did. I mean, in fairness, there was something you said there, and it's gone from me. But I think certainly, we did quite a bit of work around FASD Awareness Day here. And what was great really was just the engagement from like early morning. It was just like continuous and all day. And it was really like people that we've never heard from before, people that, we've emailed. So, we our local county council here, Clare County Council, last year they lit up the county council buildings red because we were there. We saw it happen. We spent 2 hours waiting on the lights to come on. This year, unfortunately, they said they couldn't do it because of their, climate change things and what have you. So they're not doing lit up buildings anymore. We'll be interested to see if that continues. However, they did share the information that we provided to them about FASD, which was great to see actually, because it's not often that kind of county councils get behind that sort of stuff. But there was a marked increase in the levels of engagement in Ireland, I think, this year, which is fabulous. I mean, there's maybe 3-4 organizations that are doing anything, some doing a lot, some doing less. And certainly it was just great to see that kind of engagement and people actually taking part, whether they were parents, like you say, or foster carers or social workers, etc. So, and the culmination this year, I mean, Clare County Council might not have lit up the buildings red, but, we had a few photographs of people in red shoes, even yours, got some attention. I saw unusual pair for you to wear, actually. I thought they were different for you.
That's because my other ones are in the office.
Yeah, I guessed that when I saw them the other day.
I was like, crap, I had to go rummaging around to try and just. I'm leaving a shoe lever. Thankfully, I always have a spare pair of red shoes. Okay.
Indeedy. So just a few shout outs really. So in Carlow, County Carlow, get my words out, put my teeth in. So Councillor Andrea Dalton very, very kindly managed to get all of the public buildings and all of the public areas lit up red. And we've shared that on our socials, so hopefully people have seen that. But that was great. She actually went out at midnight as well to take the photos, which was fabulous. And she posted about that. So we're very, very grateful to that. So thank you, Councillor Dalton. And we haven't seen any photographs yet, but Fermanagh and Omagh also lit their buildings red, which is, again, our thanks to them for doing that on behalf of the FASD community. And that's just it, isn't it? It's for the whole community. It's for global community as well. I mean, I saw some amazing sites. You know, Australia were the first, obviously. It was like New Year, actually, because when you woke up in the morning, Australia had all their kind of photographs up of the buildings all lit up red and stuff. And, you know, fair play to everybody in Australia, because it's really, you know, this week has been a really big week for them, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been huge. I think what makes it so magical is like this whole concept of lighting up things red started in North America and it just grew. I think Australia always takes pretty much the top number one spot for just going all out, where
it's because they can do it first, isn't it? Because they've got that, like they've got the very first.
Yeah, we all have to like compete with them because they're like the first ones to do it. I think a huge picture that came out from Australia was they had so many like really huge landmarks in all of Adelaide. So all of Adelaide's landmarks were lit up red. And it was really nice to see because you could just see, like me and you were on social media all night, all day. Yeah. And I plan for it every year. I'm like, right, September 9th, you're not going to see me for 24 hours. I'm going to have everything charged, power batteries, everything, not leaving my room. But it's really nice to see how each country, like as they wake up, it's like pictures are coming out and it's almost 24/7 of just seeing things lit up red and people wearing red and wearing red shoes. And it really just shows how strong the FASD global community really is.
Absolutely.
And also how we support the smaller organizations where it doesn't matter if you have an organization of 10 people or 100 people, we all are going to share, tag, retweet, comment, encourage, and help any way we can. And I think that's really what September 9th is all about.
Yeah. And you know what I find interesting? Because, you know, like I used to work in the adoption and fostering sector and, you know, the kind of for, you know, any child that couldn't live with their biological parents. And what's interesting about the FASD community is that it's feisty. It's very feisty. Yeah. And, you know, we're really adamant that, you know, we need more support, more awareness, all that sort of stuff. But we work together. I don't feel that there's as much bickering as there are in some other sectors, if that makes sense. So, and I love that because actually, you know, Jeff Noble came on to our other podcast. I've been on his podcast. I've been on Robbie Seale's podcast. You've been on loads of stuff as well. But we're all still kind of doing our own thing as well as doing stuff, you know, FASD Ireland. And I just find it really interesting that, as far as I'm aware anyway, and I might be totally stupid or just like totally blank to it, but, you know, we all just get involved in stuff and it doesn't matter where you work or what you do. We're all kind of in it together and we're all trying to achieve the same thing. And like you said, you know, just like the single person who's fighting for this cause, I guess, and trying to raise awareness can make a massive impact on it by having one national building lit up red.
Oh yeah. And I think it's the encouragement that the rest of the community will be like, you know, I know when the buildings in Carlow and stuff got lit up red, I know people in Canada were sharing it to people being like, look what Ireland's doing. If Ireland can do it, anyone can do it, kind of thing. Go us. It's true though. But it's also, it's the, like you said, we're a community. So, you know, if someone posts something that isn't accurate when it comes to FASD or puts out wrong statistics or whatever, we will come and either defend the person if they're getting trolled or whatever you want to call it, being bullied in the comments. We'll come out and be like, no, you're wrong. I'm sorry. We are very protective of the community that we have. And we can all see why. It's because, we really only have each other for support and for help and everything. But I think what also is so special about September 9th, and it's not necessarily about just putting out webinars and just about training. It's about the people with FASD, to give them a day where, they can put on their red shoes. They can wear red. If it's on a school day, I know like kids go into school wearing their red shoes, and they will say they're proud of it. It's like this movement of, I'm proud of having FASD. Come and ask me questions. I know some schools who the whole school will come and wear red shoes to support that one student or 10 students in their school that has FASD.
Absolutely.
And it's a movement where people with FASD aren't scared to embrace that. Whereas maybe for the rest of the 12 months that they don't want people to know they have FASD, or they're not confident, or they struggle. Whereas on that day, people come out of the shells like, yeah, I have FASD. I'm rocking these red shoes. I'm standing out. And it's a day for them. It's not about necessarily training and getting more information on that day. September's for that. But for September 9th, it's for the individuals. It's for them to be proud and for them to have that day. It's a day for them. It's not very often where there's one day that's just their day. It's FASD day. It's for everyone with FASD. We have our own day.
Yeah. And that was what I was going to ask you, actually. I said I'd forgotten something that's just come back to me. How do you feel about this approach where people say happy FASD Awareness Day, or let's celebrate FASD? Maybe that's the wrong one, but certainly I saw a few people going happy FASD like it was something to celebrate, which it's always good to celebrate, everybody, don't get me wrong. But what I'm saying is, do you feel that happy FASD Awareness Day is kind of appropriate, or am I overthinking that one?
I see, that's a good one. I think for me, I would usually go with celebrate. And for me, it's not necessarily celebration that FASD exists or FASD is still around or whatever. It's celebrating the individuals with FASD and celebrating their strength. And I think that it's a day for celebrating small successes, strengths, achievements. And so, I know a lot of people like happy FASD day. I'm like, yeah, it's a happy day for the individuals because they have their day to shine. But I would always go with just happy celebration of FASD day, because it's all about celebrating the successes. Yeah,
I was a bit conflicted with that one, to be honest. And, I'm one for using proper language, which is why I wanted to kind of ask you, because obviously, as someone who lives with FASD, it's really for you to say, actually, yes, that's right, or no, that's wrong, kind of thing, rather than a parent or somebody who works in the sector to say it, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think for everyone it's different. I'd say other people be like, no, I like happy FASD day, and other people be it's celebration or it's I think it's as individuals, and depending where individuals are in their journey, the wording I think is really crucial. So actually that's a really good one to be like, talk to your kids about how do you want us to say it, or how do you want us to embrace this day? What is it that you want to celebrate, or is it a happy occasion for you where you get to wear your red shoes and you get to celebrate your uniqueness and you're being epic and everything, or is it just a celebration of a day in its whole?
Right, top 2 picks of the day then, Maggie. What was your 2 highlights? I know you've probably got about 20 there, but just 2. Otherwise, we'll be here all day.
You would be here all day. The most striking one I saw was the high-level bridge in Edmonton being lit up red. I want a postcard of that. Because that was amazing. And just because it was quite funny, there was the big banana at New South Wales in Australia Harbour got lit up red as well. So I just liked it because it was a big red banana.
It's the small things in this life, isn't it?
Little things.
I think for me, certainly, I think it's difficult not to engage with the light at red theme. I think that is such a key thing, and I think that actually, thinking back, the history of FASD Awareness Month and Day, 1999, which was the year it kind of first launched, because all the nines and 9 months and the 9th month of the year and the 9th of September. I think that's all really relevant. And I think that we seem to have hit on this thing about the red theme, and the Red Shoes Rock campaign by RJ Formanek, is that how you pronounce it? Yeah. And in actual fact, when you look at the history of that, and if you don't know the history of it, then I suggest that you do give it a quick Google, because it was just one person that started that, and it's kind of it's thanks to social media, I guess, in part, it's really taken on a lot of kind of it's like been like a snowball effect, I guess. But I just love the fact that the light at red theme is something that we've all kind of agreed on together without probably everybody discussing it and all that sort of stuff. And more and more people have picked up, like say, snowball effect, and it's working, and it's relevant. And for that one day a year, it's I think that for us in Ireland, FASD is minimized below a lot of other conditions, even though it's probably the most prevalent. So for us to actually start off and kind of bring that to Ireland, I guess, is great. And in the north, we saw O'Shea's Brain Domain Northern Ireland, which used to be FASD Awareness NI, was it?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So Ali and all that, they got some buildings lit up as well. So it's not just in our part of Ireland; it's the whole of Ireland, which is fantastic. So that was the first part, and I think it's always nice when you have personal achievements as well. And for me, I think seeing the buildings lit up were great. But what was also great was to see, again, it's all relevant, social media, I know, but was to see actually people engaging. That was a real highlight, because sometimes you do feel like you're speaking into a void, and that nobody's listening or reading or replying or all that sort of stuff. So I think for me that was my two kind of highlights of the day, because like we were saying earlier, I was expecting it to be a thing on Saturday, but I didn't expect it to be that much of a thing. So
you naive person, Scott.
Say again?
You naive person. I'm sorry.
Well, also, because this is a whole month, isn't it? It's FASD Awareness Month, not just a day. So it's been a busy month already. And then you've got that day on the 9th, and it's just like, and we've still got the rest of the month to go. And I guess, when I think back to, like I say, when I was in the adoption sector, National Adoption Week in the UK used to be a big thing, and it was over a week. And yes, there was awareness, raising and, all that sort of stuff, but it really genuinely used to be focused on recruiting adoptive parents. And I think they've moved away from that rightly now, but it was just 1 week. Do you know what I mean? It wasn't spread out over a whole month where, you're kind of engaging so much more with individuals and stuff. So, yeah. So the other thing, just before we end, is you had a work anniversary on the 9th of September as well.
I know.
First year. 1 full year.
I know, and I was reflecting on being like, holy crap. As in, what I've done this year with them traveling to Manchester for conferences and doing webinars and going to the one in Dublin. You know the name, because I can't speak Irish. I know, it's terrible. Terrible of me. But just also everything that we have achieved as an organization, as individuals, as someone with FASD, as an individual, someone working in the FASD field. Going to Scotland for O'Shea's Jeff Noble's.
Yeah, that was quite a highlight, actually, I thought.
That was quite fun. That was very fun. I mean, that's only 1 year. It's 12 months.
I know. That's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
That is 1 year. And it's very easy when you're at work to forget what you've achieved.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because there's not always a pat on the back because you did this right or you did that right or whatever. And I think that when we're working so hard and doing so many things, because let's face it, we're not huge. There's only the three of us now. There was four with Rob, and now, he's gone off to do his Erasmus. But I think when there's just the three of you and you're trying to do hundreds of things every day, you can forget. You can absolutely forget.
I also have FASD, so it's very easy for me
you definitely forget.
To the point where actually I had people being like, but Maggie, also, remember you went to this event? And yeah, no, we met you. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. And just lastly, it was also FASD Ireland's second birthday. Everything happens on the 9th of September. It's quite a day. And when I think
celebration.
When I think about those 2 years, from starting off in a study to now having an office and computers and a phone system and, and all these kinds of things, I know they're not really important in the grand scheme of things, but when you think about how many people have walked through this office who are either, well, let's be honest, parents and carers who have come in and visited us and shared their experiences about their children, or whether they've people with FASD, whether they've rung up the hub, whatever it is, it's just grown so much in 2 years, and God only knows what year 3 is going to look like, because there's lots of exciting things potentially happening, and we're not going to talk about it on the podcast until it happens, but this could be the catalyst, shall we say, for us to really start growth, and for there to be 10 of us this time next year.
That's a lot of red shoes I'm going to need to buy.
That's a lot of red shoes in a photograph for World FASD Awareness Day, isn't it?
Yeah.
So anyway, I think we both need to go and have a lie down after that.
Yeah, it's been a very long weekend.
It has, absolutely. And, yesterday was just as manic, actually.
Yesterday, usually it just kind of dies down, where this year, they were going for the full weekend. Because it was the weekend, they're like, nah, we're not done after 24 hours. We're doing a full weekend bender on this one. And it was just
that's exactly what it felt like as well.
Well, and I think for me, because I work with different organizations as well, and then I'm someone who will not let, if an individual posts FAC post, I will comment and I will be like, woo, you did it. So I did about 3,000 of them on Saturday, of just making sure that, because everyone deserves a comment or a like on their post if they're brave enough and are embracing, and so I think I commented about 3,000 times between Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, support groups, email. So it's just like, and I thought that would be it. And then Sunday came and they were still going. I'm like, oh no, okay, mushy fingers, here we go. Let's start typing again.
Absolutely.
And then I had to be like, I'm sorry, there's quite a few typos. Sorry, I'm really tired. My fingers aren't working, but good on you.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's the thing. It's not just about what's going on social media. There's loads of other stuff going on as well. And, as we grow, we're obviously going to be doing more. I can say that I would be planning something for next year, maybe a conference or a webinar or something where we get people involved in that, whether it's people with FASD or parents, carers, or professionals who want to work in the sector, who understand it a bit more than they did, etc., etc. And that's definitely something we'll be working towards. But when you're so small, it's really difficult to kind of organize all those things. When we do
have a few webinars coming up.
Wow Coates, who's an NVR practitioner, he's also doing some training for us, and it's on nonviolent resistance, NVR. So it's an introduction to the principles of nonviolent resistance for parents and carers. It's over 2 mornings, 3 hours each morning, and that starts on the 16th of October. So if you're interested in any of those, then pop over to our website, fasdireland.ie/workshops, and the full list is on there. I think that's a perfect ending to our little special podcast, Maggie.
I agree. It's been a pleasure as always.
As always. Thank you very much. And we will talk anon.